There are new developments in the diagnosis, protocols, and treatment of breast cancer. Stay with us to see the latest options on the cutting edge.
It's a great method to treat breast cancers.
We've had really good results. We even had one patient who said she had more hair after chemotherapy.
Being at Hope Lodge during my treatment is peace. It's home, it's comfort.
It's a breakthrough in how the patients feel.
When you hear cancer, you hear a death sentence.
I was imaged on a Tuesday, biopsied on a Wednesday, and I was diagnosed that Thursday morning. If there's any way that we can keep this baby and I can stay healthy, like that's what we're gonna do.
This is our 31st year working with the American Cancer Society, and this year we bring you some amazing breakthroughs in the treatment of breast cancer and help for women's health. I'm Liz Cho, and this is Hope Lodge in New York City, one of 31 facilities across the country where cancer patients are offered a home away from home free of charge during their treatments. In the next half hour, we'll take you inside Hope Lodge. Plus, we'll show you a new way to eradicate breast cancer tumors with no surgery and little downtime. Also, a new protocol that is promising zero pain after surgery without using opioids. And hear the deeply personal story of Tina Knowles, mom to superstar Beyonce, as she speaks about her battle with breast cancer. And discover how music may forever impact mental health after treatment, plus a pregnant woman's fight just to get care after she found a lump during a self-exam. But first, a medical procedure called cryoablation. It uses extreme cold to kill diseased tissue. The technique has been used for decades on various cancers, but was just recently approved in the U.S. to treat breast cancer.
I feel great. I am happy. I am so, proud of myself that I decided to go for it.
For Sharon Brown, every day is a new reason to smile. At the age of 77, she is a survivor, thanks to a newly approved non-surgical treatment that put her breast cancer on ice.
To do this without surgery, without chemo, as the Christians would say, truly blessed.
Dr. Laura Hodges performed a cryoablation to remove Sharon's tumor without surgery.
It's a great method to actually treat breast cancers with a minimally invasive procedure.
During a cryoablation, doctors use ultrasound imaging to guide the needle into the tumor. The needle discharges a frigid gas or liquid. The tumor is frozen, then thawed, and then frozen a second time.
That freeze, thaw, freeze kills the cells within the tumor, and eventually that tumor will shrink and resorb within the body.
The procedure takes about 20 minutes and is similar to a biopsy.
The beauty is, as soon as I remove the needle, there's no bleeding because it's frozen. So the patient literally gets up and off the table and they go home.
Cryoablation was only recently approved by the FDA to treat breast cancer following clinical trials that included Montefiore. The results were promising.
The local recurrence rate, which means the breast cancer coming back in the breast, was about 3% at 5 years, which is the same as the local recurrence rate for patients who have lumpectomy. So it was comparable to surgery, which was really exciting.
For now, the FDA has only approved cryoablation for women over the age of 70 and who have early-stage small breast cancers.
Our hope is that we can expand this to a larger cohort. For example, patients who've had prior breast cancer, have had a lumpectomy, perhaps with radiation and other treatments, who many years later develop a new breast cancer in that breast. Historically, those patients would be recommended to have a mastectomy or to lose their breast. We now believe that those patients can be treated simply with cryoablation.
Another freezing technique called cold capping isn't used to treat cancer, but it can prevent hair loss, one of the most traumatic side effects of chemotherapy. Well, now a clinical trial is underway here in New York to ensure cold capping works equally well for every hair type.
Cold cap therapy is when people wear a cold, tight-fitting cap over their scalp while they're receiving chemotherapy. The idea is that if we can cause those blood vessels in the scalp to get smaller, using the cold therapy, less of the chemotherapy actually reaches the hair follicles, so we see less damage.
Dr. Beth McClellan is leading a study at Montefiore Einstein Comprehensive Cancer Center on the effectiveness of cold caps on women with curlier, more textured hair types.
We have seen over time that cold capping may not work as well in women of color. Traditionally, the way the cap is applied is wetting the hair, putting a thin layer of conditioner, and then the cap. And so in people with more curly or textured hair, when the hair is wet, it can become more voluminous and create a physical barrier between the cap and the scalp. So our research here is focusing on techniques to try and minimize hair volume.
Dozens of women, many with breast cancer, are being enrolled in the ongoing study. Their hair preparation regimen is specifically tailored to their hair type to maximize the cap's tightness.
So far we've had several patients who have had really good results. We even had one patient who said she had more hair after chemotherapy than she did before. And so seeing those results really helps fuel our research and our enthusiasm for the work.
On January 1st, New York will become the first U.S. state to require health carriers to cover cold cap therapy. And coming up next, zero pain after reconstructive surgery with zero painkillers. An incredible new protocol at a local hospital. Stay with us.
Breakthroughs for Breast Cancer is sponsored by Hackensack Meridian Health.
Welcome back. Hope Lodge, New York City, here in Midtown Manhattan, opened in 2007. This location includes 60 guest rooms for patients and caregivers. It provides a nurturing home-like environment and a supportive community that helps patients access the care they need.
Being at Hope Lodge during my treatment is peace. It's home, it's comfort.
Hope Lodge has become a sanctuary for Amanda McElroy during her ongoing fight against cancer.
If it weren't for the Hope Lodge, I would not have the opportunity to have the care that I have.
The Lodge provides Amanda with a safe and supportive place to stay, free of charge, while being treated in Manhattan. She lives in rural Pennsylvania, more than 3 hours from the city, with her husband and their teenage son.
This travel from where I'm from to here, the hardships that it creates, the Hope Lodge just takes so much of that away. Pulling up to the Hope Lodge.
Amanda has been a guest at Hope Lodge several times over the past few years. She was first diagnosed with breast cancer at the age of 38.
Surgery was yesterday.
During intense treatments, which included several surgeries, Amanda took refuge at Hope Lodge.
The burden that the Hope Lodge lifts from my family is unbelievable. You can stay here cost-free. You have a room that's a little like an apartment. Every floor has its own designated kitchen. There's also a laundry room on each floor.
Hope Lodge also offers accommodations for caregivers.
What they do in this place for people is extraordinary. To do it for free, it's an act of love.
Guests are encouraged to take part in health-minded activities, including Reiki, meditation, and yoga. Support from a variety of volunteers is critical to the Lodge's mission of overall wellness.
I was actually diagnosed with bilateral breast cancer.
Cancer survivor Shannon Barrett stayed at Hope Lodge more than 100 nights during her 2 years of treatments.
When I was staying here, I made a promise to myself that when I was strong enough and through treatment and on the other side and a survivor, that I would come back and volunteer, and they've let me do that. It's a privilege and it's a joy to come in here and try to give as much hope to the people that are here now as I was given when I was a guest.
Since opening, this Hope Lodge has hosted over 31,000 people and provided over 322,000 nights of lodging, which equates to over $111 million in savings for lodging and transportation, which is just incredible.
Amanda is still on her journey. Her hope is to someday return to a career as a pediatric nurse, a career cut short by cancer.
I've always been passionate and an advocate for my patients, and becoming a patient. I saw things before, but I see things a lot differently now.
For now, Hope Lodge is giving Amanda the freedom to focus on her health and her family.
When I'm with my son, this is what he remembers most. And I want his memories to be great. I want him to think about mom at the swim meet, being team mom, or collecting fundraiser papers. So I choose to focus on the good.
Hope Lodge New York City has welcomed guests from all 50 states and 74 countries around the world. Well, here's a startling statistic. According to the National Institutes of Health, 18% of women who undergo mastectomies develop prolonged opioid use in the months after surgery. Well, now, a breast cancer surgeon in New Jersey is using a breakthrough nerve-blocking technique that eliminates the need for potentially addictive narcotics altogether. Hackensack University Medical Center is at the forefront of a groundbreaking new surgical technique that eliminates the need for narcotics during and after mastectomies. Associate Chief for Breast Surgery, Dr. Christopher McGreevy, is pioneering a zero pain, zero opioids protocol.
Patients have to go through more than enough outside of just their recovery involved in the treatment of their cancer care. If we can make the couple days after surgery, a little bit easier for them, it can make the world of difference.
Dr. McGreevy uses a technique called PACS 1 and 2 block, which eliminates the need for general anesthesia and a breathing tube.
So the PACS 1 and 2 block is a nerve block that is done with a needle before surgery begins. An injection is done around the nerve roots, around the two major nerves that supply the chest wall. They're receiving much lower doses of anesthesia, they're receiving no narcotics, and really it's a breakthrough in how the patients feel after surgery, which I feel is one of the most important things about doing surgery.
Over the summer, Dr. McGreevy performed a bilateral mastectomy on Christina Smyslowski.
Part of the injection goes in between these two muscles.
Right before I went into surgery, they mentioned that I will not be put under general anesthesia, which was very nice because I don't do well coming out of that. I'm usually very sick, nauseous, vomiting.
Opioids used during surgery can lead to a variety of side effects, and after surgery, patients are at risk of developing long-term drug dependence on painkillers.
After the surgery, they did mention that I would have nerve blocks and I probably would not need any narcotics after. I thought it was a little crazy, but it did work.
Not only did the pain blockers work, Christina was astounded at how normal she felt.
For somebody who had a bilateral mastectomy, thinking you'd come out on the other side in terrible pain, you're not. It's amazing.
For more information, please visit us at abc7ny.com/breastcancer. We'll be right back with a celebrity supermom who had a very specific reason for revealing she survived breast cancer. Welcome back. She is a businesswoman, a fashion designer, a philanthropist, and she is a supermom to megastars Beyonce and Solange Knowles. Tina Knowles recently revealed that she is also a breast cancer survivor in her new book, Matriarch. She sat down with Eyewitness News anchor Sade Badaranwa in Los Angeles to share her personal journey.
Tina, I'm so glad we get to talk about your book. You reveal you were diagnosed with breast cancer.
Yes, I was. In 2020, I was supposed to go and get a mammogram, and of course, COVID came, and they stopped doing mammograms. So they told me they would call me when they started doing it again. So in my brain, I thought I had it that year. I didn't. And so in 2024, I went in to have one, and I found out that I had breast cancer. When you hear cancer, you hear a death sentence. You know, the words just tear you down, and it really devastated me. And I'm a tough cookie, you know, but I went and had myself a good cry, and then I called back and I started asking the questions. What they told me, it was a very slow-growing breast cancer, but it just struck me that one decision of me, not a conscious decision, but a mistake on my part of not going to get my mammogram, I could have gone and it could have been stage 3. And this happens to women all the time because we kind of put ourselves last and, you know, you're running around. So I thought, I need to put this in a book and talk about that journey.
You go through the diagnosis, then you go through getting the surgery, and of course you have doubt along the way. What do you think was the hardest part for you?
I think the hardest part was, you know, you get the nerves. You're like, what if they get in there and they find something else? And, you know, because you just don't know 100%.
Who did you rely on when you were going through one of your toughest moments?
My support system. Solange will call me every single morning, first thing in the morning, make me laugh. And Beyonce is always take charge, like, let me figure it out, sending me articles. And, you know, it's funny, they all have their thing because she's about figuring everything out and oh, listen, I saw this on this show, or I looked at this on the computer, you need to listen to this. You know, you got to be real positive because the positive vibes are going to keep you up and they're going to make you stronger. And Kelly is the health nut. So she was always like, Mom, you got to stop the coffee. You got to stop, you know, green juice. You got to take your green juice. I'm going to the farmer's market. And then Angie just had me laughing all the time because she would send me the most ridiculous little crazy things from Instagram. And so they all played a different role in what they gave to me all the time.
So what's your message to all of the young women who are out there?
To take the time to take care of yourself, to go and get your do your self breast examinations. And when you are feeling something, because I felt a lot of itching in my breast. So just pay attention to your body, and you know, it can mean saving your life. This is your life you're talking about. Yeah.
So Tina, thank you so much. And I'm so glad that you're healthy, you're well, and as always, she's looking fierce.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, Tina.
Tina Knowles says she went public in hopes women will hear her story and never skip a mammogram. For more information, visit our website, abc7ny.com/breastcancer. We will be right back with the remarkable story of a pregnant woman who faced serious challenges to get care for an aggressive form of breast cancer.
The main goal of the MELODY study is to compare music therapy to the cognitive behavioral therapy. And the main takeaway from our studies we found is just as good. Music therapy is a form of psychotherapy that uses music as a key tool, from helping guide people through a music listening exercise to writing a song, creating a playlist.
In my mind, I know music heals, and I've been preaching that to everyone as a DJ. Then I needed it. Music is what feelings and emotions sound like. There are just things that we feel that there are no words for.
Working with Cynthia was such a joy. Her connection to music, it's her whole life, but also music can be a health resource. And so it was such a joy to discover that journey together. In particular, the humming, I remember that was something that was almost like unlocked in her brain.
That vibration, that sound makes things percolate to the top. So I started putting words down like stressed, anxiety, and then random things like flowers. And we sat there and said, how do we make this into lyrics?
Her connection to music led to a wonderful song.
And once you played it, it felt like it was out in the atmosphere and out of me. After my double mastectomy, I felt frozen. But when it came to music, I could raise my arms and go like this and feel like, oh, I forgot this even happened. And when you can forget, even for 3 minutes, that this has happened to you, that's a win.
Some disturbing numbers were reported again this year from the American Cancer Society. Even though African American women in the U.S. have a 5% lower chance of being diagnosed with breast cancer compared to white women, they have a 38% higher chance of dying from it. A woman from Staten Island faced challenges when she found a lump while 5 months pregnant. But some of the biggest obstacles happened even before she was diagnosed.
34 years old, pregnant with my third child, and actually was doing a self-exam inside of the shower. And I felt something that felt a little different. I told my OB about it. He was very concerned and he wanted to check it out. And in doing the exam, he said, "Good news. This is not breast cancer. This is probably milk ducts because you are pregnant and you're producing milk. If it doesn't go down, come back next week. Come back as often as you need to so that we can make sure that this is, that you feel good about it."
That lump did not get smaller. The mother of 2 young boys came back every week for 6 weeks, and she kept asking to have it imaged.
I wasn't due for my first mammogram until I was 40. He said, "But the reason that I can't do that is because you're pregnant. And I feel like the risk to the baby for any imaging that we would do is much greater than your risk of having breast cancer." And I said, "Listen, I respect you as a professional, I respect you as a person, but at this point, I'm gonna need you to document inside of my file that you are refusing to image me." When you start to talk about documentation, people stand up a little bit and it makes them question, do they wanna memorialize what they're saying?
Her doctors finally sent her not for a mammogram, but a sonogram.
I was imaged on a Tuesday, biopsied on a Wednesday, and I was diagnosed that Thursday morning.
It was stage 2 B-invasive ductal carcinoma, a very aggressive estrogen-based breast cancer.
My heart dropped. There was a sense of relief that, wow, I'm so glad that I pushed for this. But then I was really angry. There are a lot of women that probably have gone into any doctor's office and had a similar situation and didn't advocate for themselves.
From that moment, Deanna was ready to fight. She began an experimental treatment with chemotherapy. This was 2016, and at the time, there was not enough data to show that pregnant women could safely undergo chemotherapy without hurting the fetus.
If there's any way that we can keep this baby and I can stay healthy, that's what we're gonna do.
Deanna was induced at 36 weeks. She gave birth to a healthy baby girl, Aubrey, who is now 9 years old. Aubrey has heard about her mom's story and is learning the valuable lesson of advocating for herself.
My mom taught me to speak up for myself. It makes me proud.
Deanna now tells her story and encourages women to speak up.
Use your voice. Data shows that women are much less likely to be heard and believed when they talk about things that are happening with their body. And when you look at those numbers as it pertains to Black women, it literally plummets.
Now completely cancer-free, Deanna says her battle has empowered her in ways she never expected. She's one of the biggest cheerleaders for the American Cancer Society's Making Strides walk each year.
I just love that there's such a tremendous community around women who are going through breast cancer. It's overwhelming. And I'm excited that it's something that I get to participate in, that I get to show my daughter. It's really been a gift.
And Deanna has been a regular at the Staten Island Making Strides walk every year, another way that she is advocating for women. You can join ABC7 and the American Cancer Society on Sunday, October 19th for the Making Strides Against Breast Cancer walk in Central Park. For more information, go to makingstrideswalk.org/NYC. We hope we've given you some good information. For more on the stories you've seen here, go to abc7ny.com/breastcancer. I'm Liz Cho. Thanks so much for joining us.